welcome back to another live stream. My name's Jude. We gonna get into a little bit of a different live stream today. So I got a little bit of a, hopefully a better streamlined setup than last week's beginning. So I'm hoping that goes good. Let's make sure the audio's good. The audio's good. So W's. I wanted to do something a little bit different. So, we're going to get into right off the bat, a reaction video. I'm going to react to a video. I'll go ahead and pull that up. Hold on, let me.
I remember making a meme
of
that
course.
Just said,
why is it always got an ad? I don't understand. All right, bet. All right, so we're going to start right off with a reaction. It's going to be more like Christ-centered, should I say. Dare I say. Because I know I've been starting it with the Bible studies. When I first started doing the live streams, I think it was very good. Because I was preparing for a week beforehand and then coming to you with like kind of what I had found. I haven't been doing that recently because I've been trying to find a system that I can repeat every single live stream. And it just has not been something that I've been happy with the quality of winging it. So we're going to do a little bit something different. And then we're going to get into, after that, you already know. We were making some progress with the Lego set. So that'll be fun. And as I'm doing that, I'm actually going to do something a little bit different there as well. We're going to answer some questions. And hopefully you guys interact in the chat and we can answer some of y'all's questions as well. Let's get into it. And, yeah. All right, bit. All right, so title of the video is God. Woo-hoo-hoo! Title of the video is God Can't Build a Man Who's Always Distracted. Let's get it.
Man who's always distracted.
I just said that.
Welcome, brothers. God bless every single one of you guys. I'm super excited for this video because this is one of the realest things that I've learned throughout my journey with God. Yet for some reason, nobody talks about it and nobody acknowledges it, right? These distractions in our life have become so normal and people don't realize that it's...
And I just want to like preface this by saying, dude, I am so terrible about getting distracted. Like, I don't know what it is about, well, I guess I do know what it is. I have ADHD. Like right now, I'm thinking a million things. Like right now, I'm like, I should check to make sure the live stream's going good. I'm thinking about, man, is this segment going to be good? Is this video going to be good? Do I sound like an idiot? I up the frame rate, so maybe I hope the quality's better this time around than it was last time. That's what's going through my head. And then I've got all the social media. I've got a son. I've got jobs. I've got responsibilities. I've got a dog. I've got all these things that are pulling at my attention and distracting me from what I may potentially want to do. And that's obviously why I wanted to react to this. I'm only really reacting to stuff that interests me right now. We're honing in, though. We're honing in on... I feel like we're getting more of a niche, I guess you could say, with the channel, though. And we can talk about that later. But, not right now. All right, bet. Let's get into it.
It's actually blinding them from the purpose that God has. You see, every single time that you're distracted, every single time that you put the stimulation on, whether it's honestly music, it can be podcasts, it can even be a video like this, whether it's good or bad, it drowns out the voice of God. And it's not that we can't do it at all. It's just we have to have time for both. We have to have time to learn, but also hear the voice of God. Also understand ourselves.
Look, I'm saying all that, and I know you see my eyes going down. I'm checking my live stream to make sure the quality's good. I'm sorry, you guys. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Literally distracted as I'm watching a video about uh, God can't build. A man who's always distracted. Like that's tough. That's clean though. I think the quality's decent. Decent.
Right? Because a man who can't understand himself can't understand the purpose he's called for. And people are scared now to think. I remember for the long.
Hold on. I want to hear that again.
Can't understand the purpose he's called.
I didn't rewind far enough. Here.
We can't do it at all. It's just we have to have time for both. We have to have time to learn, but also hear the voice of God. Also understand ourselves, right? Because a man who can't understand himself can't understand the purpose he's called for. And people are.
The man who can't understand himself can't understand the purpose he's called for. Man, that's just something I like to sit with right there. Like, what does that mean to y'all? I'm coming back to look at the chat. Ain't nobody in there. Tight shit. Tight shit. Oh, shit. But man, he said something else. I want to rewind it again and just really.
And it's not that we can't do it at all. It's just we have to have time for both. We have to have time to learn, but also hear the voice of God.
I have to have time to learn, but also hear the voice of God. Something that I've been learning in my walk is allowing myself to be bored and sit and quiet and be still after I ask God a question. You know, like I've in the past was real bad about asking a question to God and then expecting like an immediate answer, and when I didn't hear him immediately, um I just felt like he either wasn't going to answer, wasn't listening, and then I come to my own conclusions in my head. More often than not, though, I have to sit there for a while and like in the stillness, in the self reflection of me being still and just focusing on God and and sitting in His presence. That's when I've gotten, or that's more often than not when I get my answers. So I wanted to touch on that.
Also understand ourselves, right? Because a man who can't understand himself can't understand the purpose he's called for.
And there's a gem. I just want to touch on that one more time. The man who can't understand himself can't understand the purpose he's called for. Which is crazy, dude. Because that's literally what I've been feeling like, man, maybe this is like kind of where this channel's headed for me. Just that entire ethos of holy shit, this is God right here, man. Dad, if you're in the chat, crazy, isn't it? This is literally what I've been focusing on was and I'll make myself big screen for you, as being we're here and watching me and Kayla and Nami. Tight shit, what up? This is what I've been focusing on in my like where I'm feeling like I want to go with this channel. Understanding who you are as a person, like who you are, and then from that, what you're meant to do, and helping people do that, and sharing my journey along the way of doing that same thing. Because I think it's really a lifelong. Look at the flow, man. They're getting along. But it's a lifelong mission, I believe. Is number one, understanding who you are, becoming more of who you are, and then fulfilling your purpose, fulfilling your duties of what you were created for. And it genuinely does. I need to make those words fatter so it's easier to read. Anyways, it genuinely does like fire me up, stuff like that. And it's something that I've noticed, man, I more often than not do that. Like I be doing that. So it's just crazy that he's talking about that. Because I totally agree that you can't know what your purpose is or go after what your purpose is until you understand and know who you are. And I mean, there's just a lot there. Like, after you understand and know who you are, then it's like you got to start being who you are. Because even if you know who you are, sometimes it's hard to like be that person. You feel me?
And people are scared.
Oh, I almost did it. There we go.
Now to think, I remember for the longest time, and you might have experienced this in your life, when you try to set your phone aside, maybe you build the little habits like, oh, I'm not going to watch my phone when I remember I gave myself like 3 rules. I'm not going to pick up my phone at all in my car. I'm not going to take my phone inside of the bathroom, because I'd literally be like brushing my teeth, scrolling. It was bad. And I'm not going to watch YouTube while I eat, unless it's like an intentional video, something that I learned, but it
Man, I just like kind of convicted me, okay? Because like I'll be taking my phone with me everywhere. I have not been taking my phone into the gym though. That is something I've just recently been starting to do, and I'm feeling what this dude's saying right now, because like I've been locked in recently without that distraction, and man, anymore it's like when you go, I mean, you want to really hurt your feelings, go and look at the screen time that you spend on your phone, like your average over the last 7 days. I mean, it'll hurt your feelings.
got to the point where I'd literally cook a nice meal, right? We on the grind, Muay Thai, lifting, cooking a healthy meal, and I would set the meal, like I would literally push the meal to the side so I could put my hands in front of me and scroll, try to find an entertaining video on YouTube, something that would stimulate me and give me dopamine. And then once I found it, boom, got my water bottle, propped it up, put my meal back in front of me and started eating. That's how bad it got, right? And we always, and I know you can relate.
Dude, yeah, he's saying, I know you can relate right now. Yeah, this is like big time me. If I don't have a person around me, and why are we like that? Like, why have we gotten to, as a society, like being cool with just, hold on, I'll read that in a second. Give me a second. Let me finish this thought. Why have we like gotten to a point to where we constantly need to be stimulated, you know? Like, that can't be good. That cannot be good. I mean, out of boredom, for real, is where, like, when I'm sitting in boredom, like, one of the times I'll really figure shit out is on long car rides, and I won't have podcasts or music or nothing playing. And when I do that, like, I really figure shit out. But I've seen in a lot of places, like, when you sit with boredom, like, boredom is not the enemy, it's the answer, you know? All right, what are these peeps saying? What are these peeps saying? It's like God be spying on conversations. Loki, cooked, guilty. I was just talking about this stuff last night, about how your purpose flows from self-awareness, but true awareness, who you are in Him. Facts. Tight shit.
Relate to that, brother. You're probably thinking, dang, I just did the same thing. I might be doing the same thing right now, right? But it's this constant noise. It's this constant noise that drowns the voice of God. Because I can tell you one thing, brother. God is not going to fight for your attention. But your attention reveals your priorities. That's why I emphasize, me and my community, by the way, I have a community that I built out specifically for ambitious Christian men. It's the first link in the description.
Let's pull up the link. Let's plug this guy's stuff right now. Hold on. Look, if it's a school community, it's got to be a sign, right? It's not. But it is a community. $7 a week, 128 members. That's crazy work. Bro's making pretty decent money doing it. All right, let's get back.
For sake of brotherhood, calls, courses, community, it's awesome. God's been working through it like crazy. But anyways, what we reinforce ourselves with and emphasize so much is just getting into the word before the world, because that reveals your priority. I remember I would wake up, hear the alarm click snooze, or just swipe out of the alarm, and then whenever it was time for me to wake up after snoozing a ton, I would go Instagram, scroll, do whatever, right? My priority was the world. I wanted to know what the world was up to. I wanted to know the friends that texted me instead of the word of God. And that's why it blinds so many men from their purpose. Attention reveals your priorities. And that's what these companies battle for. You see
You know, I'm reminded of something I heard in a coaching community one time, that it's not God's, the devil's main mission is not to destroy you, but to keep you distracted and comfort. And or let me say that again. The devil's main goal isn't to keep. We're gonna get this time. Watch. We're gonna get it this time. The devil's main goal is not to destroy you. It is to keep you distracted and comfortable. Bam. I mean, just round of applause for me getting some simple words out in order. I couldn't do it twice. Man, doing it back to back's crazy. But yeah, like something that I've really been struggling with, I've noticed lately is, I mean, yeah, I've got ADHD and stuff like that. So like my focus is already all over the place. But when I hyper focus. And I've been like super obsessed with the live stream stuff and like building this community and figuring out what it is and what I'm trying to deliver and who I'm trying to speak to and all that stuff. But I've been noticing that like I'll not like it'll take me all day to answer a question that's in my head about like and it's a simple question, just because I continually wander off the path of focus, like, and I have to keep bringing myself back. And I mean, it reminds me of also like Jesus. Number one, he like got up before the sun got up, which I'm not saying we have to do that, but I'm saying he made time daily. And he also, I think it's important to like start your day with it. And I'm not saying you got to do like hours, but I have noticed that when I start my day like that, I start from a better place. And then also like he had a routine of pulling away. Look how tan I am, bro. All right. Distractions. He had a routine of pulling away, separating himself from the crowd, quieting his mind and quieting his mind, and just sitting in God's presence. And there's something to that, man. There's something to that. Obviously, or he wouldn't have done it. But I just think we should really work on that, like as a community. All right, what did Reese say? He said, I grew up in a home where connection was severely limited due to screens. I have vowed to ban phones during family dinners when it comes time to have a family to dine with. LOL. I like that. Reef, what up? Thank you for tuning in again. Girl, what up, girl? I mean, I guess you could go back and watch like the beginning of the stream to I'm doing something a little bit different. Obviously, I'm not doing the Bible study. I ain't going to do it this whole stream. I haven't liked how the quality of it. And I'm trying to get to where I can do these more often. And I liked the Bible studies in the beginning of doing the live streams, like weeks ago when I first started doing them. But that's because I was preparing for a week beforehand. But I haven't been doing that because I've been trying to figure out how to get it to where I can do them like I'd like to do them daily. And obviously I can't prepare a week for every single one. I can't do it. Reef. You feel me? So that's what we're doing. We're doing a reaction video, and it's like a little bit Christian based this time. And then we gonna get into, man, it's really bugging me how these are not, like, the words aren't bigger. We'll figure it out. And then later when we're doing the Lego set, have some questions ready, Reef. Have some questions ready, girl. And other people. I mean, y'all are important too, but Reef, just to let you know, that's all family. Like, I'm just gonna let you know. Like, you're the fan. Like, you the one. You the one, for real. You the one. I found this app, and maybe I can look, we're going all over the place right now. I'm sorry. It's it's unfortunate. It really is. It's sincerely uh I don't have it to where I can read the names of apps. Hold on. Sincerely off my chest. Sincerely off my chest. I found that app. And then it gave me an idea. It was like, man, I could read questions from the community and we could kind of bounce off each other. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm going to read a few questions off that app, which is all anonymous. And then if you got questions or stuff that you're going through that you'd like to kind of like, hey, think space it, if that's a thing, let's do it. She said, I love that you care about the quality of the studies. I've enjoyed anything regardless. What am I, a piece of cheese? No, you're a piece of chopped liver. I love cheese. Same, Reef. See, Reef, if you take it and mean it in a bad way, Reef is going to flip that shit every damn time. Every damn time. All right, let's get into it.
Algorithms, you see all these things to just keep your attention focused on them. And if your attention is away from God, then that's all I gotta say. I don't gotta elaborate that anymore. If your attention is away from God, then God doesn't have your full attention. You can imagine how that affects the purpose and your calling and the character that God is trying to mold and sculpt you into, right? So that's one of the biggest enemies, is this constant noise, constant stimulation. Constant stimulation ends up drowning your reflection. And if your mind is never quiet, you can't hear conviction. You can't hear what God has for you. A distracted man slowly loses sensitivity to God's voice. And it's not that God can't build a man, it's that you don't allow him to when you're like, I'm not talking about that.
I love that. Here, just in case you didn't catch it.
What God has for you. A distracted man slowly loses sensitivity to God's voice. And it's not that God can't build a man, it's that you don't allow him to when you're like, I'm not talking about.
It's not that God can't build a man, it's that you won't allow him to. Man, woman, whatever. This guy's obviously targeting men. But it's the same regardless. Are you allowing God to mold you? Are you allowing him into your mind, into your space, into your day? Are you making room? Are you being intentional about making time for him? Are you building your life around him? Or are you adding him into your life?
God's ability, I'm talking about us allowing him to, right? I saw this amazing painting one day that was, Jesus on one side of a door. He was holding a lamp. It was night outside. And you can see there's a little lock, right? There wasn't a handle. It was just the lock. But on the other side of the lock, you could see through the lock and see the handle, if that makes sense. So on one side, there was a handle, but on the side Jesus was in, he had a door in front of him with the lamp just waiting for the other person to open the door. And that's exactly how our walk with God is. He's always
on the other side of
sitting right there. But it's up to us whether we allow him to move in our life.
That's what I was going to say. He places rewards on the other side of like suffering. Like for example, like I'm a father, I'm a parent. So I'm not going to reward, or sometimes I might make Brady struggle a little bit. Like today, he's learning how to button his pants after he's done going to the restroom. So, like, I could sit there and do it for him and build my self esteem, or I could let him struggle and go through the pain of trying to figure it out and watch his self esteem be built. And it's kind of the same thing. Like, obviously, I'm not giving him that self esteem, but in a way, I kind of am. You know what I mean? Y'all say anything? I gotta keep coming back and check. See, nah. All right, we're good.
Or not, through the Holy Spirit, through his strength, right? The second we put it on ourselves, and that's what kind of gets tricky. This isn't some self-glory thing. It's through the Holy Spirit that this is all done. It's through the Holy Spirit that you will enjoy his voice more than the entertainment. Psalms 46 verse 10 says, "Be still and know that I am God." How many times have you heard someone tell you to be still? It's not prevalent nowadays, but God commands us to be still and know that I am God. We have to silence the noise. We have to take out the distraction. It's not optional. It's foundational. I promise you, if you let's say try this out, right? The 3-minute rule, or the 3 rules that I did. Try this out for 7 days. No phone in the bathroom, no YouTube while you're eating, and don't pick up your phone in the car, but even try to add some silent car rides. It's just you, the steering wheel, and the 4 wheels and the gas pedal. That's it.
I do the bathroom stuff. I can get down with the bathroom. The eating one's gonna be tough. The eating one's gonna be tough. I'm just gonna be honest with you. I can do the car drive ones too. I actually did that for half the car ride today. Look at me. Look at me. Can y'all commit to that? She said, "Love that. God be calling us by our first, middle, and last name like my mama when I'm in trouble and we not hear a word because we're not open to listen." Facts, man. Facts. We ain't listening. And God doesn't holler at you. He whispers. You know what I'm saying? Like, God's not going to scream at you. I mean, he'll whisper. He's in the whispering. Be still and know that I am God. And I want to look that up. What verse was that? Did y'all catch that? It was Psalms. Here, let's go back and see if we can find it. He said,
I promise you, if you let's say try this out. It says these
Psalms 46:10. Let's look that up. Let's look that up. Y'all want to? I do. I don't care if y'all want to or not. How about that? How about them apples? Slap that in a juice box, jam it in there, and suck on it. Because we're doing it. Psalms 46:10. Yeah? Is that what I said? Yeah. That's what I said. Knew it. Whole time. 10. Be still. Primitive root to slacken. What that mean? Loosen. Become. Get. Making. Make or become slack. So loosen. Like when you pull some slack in a cord. In many applications, literally or figuratively. Abate, cease, consume, draw, fail, faint. All right, so to slacken. That's what being still is. That's a good little you know what that reminds me of? It's like the leash when I'm walking a dog. Like, you want to know what a good dog is when they're walking on a leash? A good dog is a dog like when the leash makes like a little J. If that leash is straight, the dog is leading the owner. Another word for leash, a lot of people, especially hillbillies, they call it lead. A lead strap. Because it's their way of leading the dog. And it says, be still and know. Alright. So slacken. Let me lead you. Right? Let me lead you. Give me some play in this leash so I can correct you. Because when you're freaking constantly pulling on this leash and you're feeling constant tension on your neck, you don't know that I'm trying to steer you over this direction because it's all the same amount of pressure. It's all the same pressure. It's all the same noise. You ain't giving me no room to correct you. Maybe that's what God's saying to us. And it says, and know, to know, using a great variety of senses, figuratively, literally, euphemistically. Ooh! Man. And inferentially. Hey, man. Come on now. I just got to sound it out. Hit all the syllables. Yeah, that's honestly, be fucking for real. You know what I'm saying? That this, you can't tell all words. I ain't got it in me. I ain't got it in me. To know. All right, to know. We there with that. To know that I am God. I. I thought it'd be something cool. God. Plural gods in the order. Probably prolonged. I am. All right, I feel like we got some good stuff out of that though. Like the lead, that was a cool little image for me to slacken. So loosen up, be still, and know that I am God. Be still, be still, be still. Understand, man. I'm God. I'm gonna lead you. I'm gonna guide you. I'm gonna take you the right way. But are you just sitting there constantly pulling on the leash in the direction that you think I'm pulling you to, in the direction that your mind's telling you, that you've convinced yourself? Are you going in the direction that you've convinced yourself you need to go in? Or are you going to be still? Are you going to take a beat? Take a beat, man. Are you going to walk with me? Or are you going to try and pull? And it's really, what does it do for the dog when they're doing that? They're all the time choking. They're choking. They're choking themselves, wearing themselves out because they're pulling against. I mean, I know for me, hey, I am Alpha and Omega when it comes to that dog. I am the ruler, and you are under my rule as if you're a dog, you know. So I'll be damned if you're gonna pull me around. I'm gonna make you. You're gonna wear yourself out. I might even give you a, if you ain't listening. Now I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna stop. This is just kind of a side note, but I ain't gonna abuse him. Every once in a while, I might give him a little leash crack. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be honest. But when I'm really like focused, I'll have some trees and this, that, the third. But whatever. He's just wearing himself out. And a lot of these people and a lot of these times that I'm just wore out. I'm frustrated. I'm tired. Don't understand what's going on. It's like God kind of has to let you do that. I have to let the dog wear himself out because shit, I ain't giving him the time of day to try and see, hey God, where's the blind spot here, God? Am I treating God as am I trying to lead God right now? Like, do a heart check on that. Because I'm going to be honest. I have been there. I do that. L tangent? W tangent? I don't know. Y'all decide.
Still and know that I am God. How many times have you heard someone tell you to be still? It's not prevalent nowadays, but God commands us to be still and know that I am God. We have to silence the noise. We have to take out the distraction. It's not optional. It's foundational. I promise.
You know, and another thing that just brought to mind for me is, what did God say when what did Jesus say when he got woken up in the ship by the apostles? And they're all like, when the storm's going on, you know? What's the thing he said? He said, be still. Right? Fact check me on that. We're going to do it right now. Let's fact check this. To the storm. Quiet, be still. You feel me? You feel me? That's what's going on in us. Like, quiet and still that storm that's going on inside of you, inside of us. Peace, be still. There it is, yeah. Peace, be still. Peace, be still. Which is like another thing, too. It's like, isn't it neat how how Jesus defines it and then gives the action? You get what I'm saying? He says, "Peace, be still." Being still is the action. Peace is is he's defining it. He's giving it a he's characterizing it. He's saying, "Peace, be still." I don't know. I thought that was pretty neat. Maybe there's something there. But yeah, isn't that crazy? And at the same time, all the apostles are like, oh, like apes in Planet of the Apes. When Caesar's like, no! If you know, you know. But when he does that, all the apes are like, oh, shit. You know what I mean? And that's what the apostles are like. And at the same time, peace be still, they felt that. You know? Which is a great representation of, hey, your words and your actions, but even your words are so powerful that it changes the environment. Now, you might not be there yet to have the belief. You might not have the belief yet, let's say it that way, to be able to calm storms. But the words that you use, they can calm storms in others. Right now, you can do that. Doesn't take much belief to do that. That's low-level kindergarten shit. All right, let's get back into it. Oh man, hey.
I promise you, if you let's say try this out, right? The 3-minute rule, or the 3 rules that I did. Try this out for 7 days. No phone in the bathroom, no YouTube while you're eating, and don't pick up your phone in the car, but even try to add some silent car rides. It's just you, the steering wheel, and the 4 wheels and the gas pedal. That's it. And your thoughts. Right? We have this fear of thinking nowadays. We have this fear of sitting with ourselves. This anxiety is going to come. You're going to see if you try this, like no music or not picking up your phone, the second you get to the red light, brother, it's like autopilot. Your hand's already reaching it to it the second that you get it to the red light. And try to notice this. Look around at the other cars, and you're going to see they're all doing the same thing. It's like we're robots. We're programmed to doing this. And it's disrupting our walk with God. It's blinding us from the true purpose that He has. We start to drift away. And that's the consequence of the noise, is it causes this drift. You see, when you live in noise, you don't fall instantly. You stop reflecting, you stop examining yourself, and you slowly move away from intentional lifting. One of the best commands that the Apostle Paul gave us is take captivity of every thought to the obedience of Christ. Because the seeds will come. The temptations will come. The trials, the tribulations will come, and it's so easy to slip away our thoughts. It's so easy to be controlled by the thoughts that we have, the short-term desires. I saw this amazing quote. It's, you don't have to necessarily control your thoughts. That's super impossible to just control your thoughts 100% of the time. But what you have far more control of is not allowing your thoughts to control you. And that's the difference between a spirit-led person and an emotionally led person. Our emotions are...
You get what I'm saying? Look, I heard it said this way, that you aren't your thoughts. All right, I'm going to paint a picture for you. All right, close your eyes. All right, you closing your eyes? All right, I'm going to wait for you. You going to close your eyes? All right, bet. So I want you to imagine that you're looking at, everything is black and white. There's some gray in there too, yeah, but everything's black and white. There's no color. and you're watching a conveyor belt. Everyone knows what a conveyor belt is. On that conveyor belt is a bunch of boxes. Like you're working at Amazon or something. Yeah? There's a bunch of boxes going down this conveyor belt. One after the other. Nothing out of the ordinary. And then you look to your left. And coming down the conveyor belt is a red box. It's a red box. And it keeps coming down the conveyor belt, and it keeps catching your attention, and you're looking at it. You're like, what in the world? Why does that box look like that? Why? That's crazy. That's weird. All these other boxes are black and white and gray, but that box is red. And it keeps coming down the conveyor belt, coming down closer to you, until it eventually gets in front of you. And you're like, you know what? I'm going to see what's inside this box. You pick that box up, and you open it up, and out floods a bunch of red. Like everything's shades of red now instead of black and white. Everything. And that is a good representation of our thoughts. You aren't your thoughts. That thought, so obviously if you haven't figured it out, the conveyor belt was representing your mind, and the boxes were representing individual thoughts crossing your mind. Now, the red box was just the same as all the other thoughts. They had no effect on you and your reality and your environment. But the moment you picked up that red box and chose to open it up, then your environment changed. You aren't your thoughts. You weren't that thought. That kind of represented a negative thought, that red box. You're not that negative thought or that negative emotion, but you gave it power. You gave it power by picking it up, by opening it, by letting the contents that are inside of it out. So, which is a double whammy. Like, you're not your thoughts, number one. That's what we just realized. And then number two, we give our thoughts power. So what are you choosing to let your focus? Which thought are you giving the stage in your life? You know? You have the power to control that. All right, let's get back into it.
Are going to have you picking up your phone at the red light. Your emotions are going to lead you to picking up your phone first thing in the morning instead of getting into the Word of God. Your emotions are going to lead you to sleep in, to be lazy, to eat the junk food, to spend hours on video games, indulge in the bad habits. At least mine did. And I don't think we're too different. Our emotions crave the comfort. Our emotions crave the easy dopamine. Because through this noise, we get positive reinforcement. It stimulates us. It gives us this dopamine. That's the scary part of it all. Is that it doesn't suck. It actually feels good for a little bit. But at the end, it always feels empty. If I were to give you like 2 months and you were to indulge in all the noise, you would go out, party, playing video games all the time, scrolling on YouTube every single day, sleeping in, right? If you grab that 1 month spent like that, and I were to give you this other month where you're still, you're getting into the Word before the world. And I give you this comparison a lot because I constantly like to think about it. All right, so think about it. When I bring it up, think about it yourself too, because it doesn't matter how many times we hear these things. Sometimes we just got to remember. It doesn't matter how much of common sense it is. Bro, apply it. If it's that common sense. I remember I used to send cool videos and cool quotes and stuff to some of my friends, and they would be like, yeah, I know, that's common sense. And I look at their life and I'm like, why don't you apply it then? Why don't you do it? Don't mentally masturbate to my videos if you're watching. You know, there's a lot of information here that's actually changed my life, has changed my walk with God, all through the strength of Christ. Again, it's not by my own works. When I was doing the disciplined lifestyle,
I do kind of want to edit what this guy's saying a little bit. I am cool if you do like mentally masturbate to positive information and content, because the more you surround yourself, I'm gonna give you a cheat code right now. I'm gonna give you a cheat code. Cheat code, bruh. I'm telling you. Well, let me get caught up on the chat. Great analogy. Thank you. Thank you. You are not your thoughts, but your thoughts change your reality when you choose to focus on a thing. Love that. Yes, ma'am. Reef, she said, yes, it's up to us how much power we give our thoughts. Same applies to how much power we allow others' words, opinions, judgment, etc. to have on us. The second we entertain, we give it power. Yes, ma'am. What thoughts are you giving power? Good stuff. W. Look, cheat code. You ready? Here it is. Look at that. That might be a vibe. I'm gonna keep it out. Crazy. This is. So I've gotten like really good really quickly at like a lot of different weird things in my life because I'm ADHD. Like I got good at solving Rubik's cubes. I got decent at magic. I got really into like physical fitness. I got really into sales there for a little bit and communication, like a lot of different things. Okay. And I'm going to tell you a cheat code for how to, I can't do it, for how to speed up the learning curve and the process for doing that. You ready? Are you ready? It's simple. I call it the NAP framework. Really, I don't. But anytime you hear framework, you're instantly like, "Oh shit! What's the NAP framework?" Don't lie. Don't lie. You immediately said that. But the cheat code is, look, surround yourself with that. And an easy way to surround yourself with it is social media. So like whenever I got into something, and right now it's all like the YouTube stuff. And it's like also what I'm talking about in the YouTube stuff, which has already been stuff that I've been interested in, which is social or self-improvement, faith, stuff like that. So I've been, social media is a way to control your environment, is what I'm getting at. So I would unfollow everything, like everything, even family. And I would only follow accounts based on that we're talking about, posting about anything in that world that was Rubik's Cubes or whatever world I'm trying to get better at, right? I would curate my environment. Curate your environment, okay? And an easy way to do that is social media and podcasts and everything. Everything I put into my mind and my thoughts, I'd say right now 80-20. 80-20%. So 20% is just kind of whatever. 80% though is like YouTube, live streaming, and then stuff that I talk about or am doing like in the live streams, which has been generally self-improvement stuff, faith-based stuff, things like that. And because of that, I've constantly got this information coming in. And I might not retain all of it, but I'm like, I don't know, there's something about it. And then if you take it a step further, get into a community about that, whatever said thing and said field that you're trying to progress in, right? Get into a community of that. And then what I mean by that though is provide value in that community. Okay, so engage with the people in the community, answer questions, provide value. Okay, value is value can be found in a lot of different things, and when you do that, you'll build relationships, you'll learn things, and you'll progress a lot quicker. Cheat code that I have used quite a bit. What thoughts are you governing your environment? Clock it, yeah. The clock it thing, I'm not too sure on. I'm not too sure. Governing your environment, though. That's right. All right, let's get back into.
I'm gonna compare real quick. So I was technically doing this disciplined lifestyle, but I was doing it for my own sake. I was doing it for my own glory, and it left me just as empty as the bad habits. But going back to the comparison, you have that 1 month full of noise, like I said, the video games, dopamine, junk food, whatever, right? I already listed a lot of them. And then you have this other discipline month where you're waking up. You're not using your phone for the first hour of the day. You're getting into the Word. You take showers without music and actually listen to your thoughts. You've picked up journaling, which, by the way, I have another video fully about journaling. It's super good if you want to check that out after this video on why and how every Christian man should journal. But anyways, journaling, honoring God with the food that you eat, getting some exercise in, right? A lot of people say that they're grateful for their health, yet they treat their health like crap. We got to be good stewards, and that's what I'm going to get to. But, pick these 2 months. You have the disciplined lifestyle, right? Honoring God in every single thing that you do. And then you have the noise filled with noise month. You're going to feel so much better. Like, your brain is going to want to chase these things constantly, but you're going to always feel so much better, so much more pleasure with living this purposeful life. And I always say this, right? Purpose over pleasure. But it's funny because you'll actually feel so much pleasure in your life when you're following the purpose. That's the most fulfillment and the most completeness you will feel when you're walking in Christ, when you're allowing Christ to move you, when you're letting God to guide you. That's when the biggest change happens. That's when the most fulfillment will come in your life. That's when the most, you'll feel complete. We can only feel complete in the Lord. So it's funny because we say pleasures, but it really makes us feel like crap every single time. The shame, the guilt, empty. I remember when I was like doing hookup culture, watching porn till 4 a.m. every single day. Not every single day, probably
4 a.m.? Yeah, I was about to say, bro. What are we doing, bro?
Like 3 times a week, but that's still awful, right? Eating junk food, not caring, I wasn't working out. I knew I should, but I was, 1 to 2 times a week, I was getting inconsistent because it doesn't seem fun all the time, right? To be honest. But then I looked in the mirror and I was misaligned. I was out of alignment with the man God is calling me out to be. Doesn't matter what path there was a time where I was doing,
Oh, and something I'm just thinking about as he's talking about this. And I know I'm turning a less than 30-minute video into like an hour and a half. I'm sorry. But something that this is like making me think about is like, why is it so hard to like be consistent like with things? And then for me, that makes me fall into like perfection. But it's like, you got to focus on progress over perfection, Because progress over a long enough time horizon will get you to places that you can hardly imagine right now. That's just the truth. But if you're trying to be perfect, look at the skin difference. Arm versus leg. That is wild. Damn, I just completely lost my train of thought. I hate when I do that. Consistency, and then like progression over perfection, and like, what was I even talking about, you guys? Yes, journaling to save my sanity. I literally have 5 separate journals for different thought streams, and it helps me to keep track of where I'm at and have been. Also helps with meditation topics. 5 different separate journals is like, seems overwhelming to me, but like, if that's working for you, hell yeah. I don't really journal a lot, honestly. I tried it, and it just didn't, just, I don't know. I just didn't feel like I got a lot from it, honestly. So I don't know. Maybe I was just doing it wrong. Maybe you guys can teach me how to do it correctly.
Sales and affiliate marketing sales, and I was making good money. That's what the world tells you will make you happy. No, you look in the mirror, you can make good money. You can have the good physique, because guess what? I lived in that life too. I've experienced both. It's all empty. You can be disciplined. You can have a good income, empty. If you don't have the Lord, empty. You can chase the short-term pleasures, the porn, the hookup culture, drinking, scrolling, whatever, empty. They're both empty. The only way this life is meant to be lived is with God, is with fulfilling your purpose. And that doesn't mean the disciplined lifestyle is bad. Of course not.
And I like how he said that, because like, I've lived it all, bro. Like, I feel like I've lived like kind of the world's way, and I've lived the disciplined way, and then I've also lived like the church way. And I'm doing quotes right now. Because it's like what the church as a whole pushes. But I feel like the church as a whole, like, and yeah, I was definitely like flexing on y'all. I apologize. But the church, like as a whole, I feel like pushes a like rule following, perfection based life. Like you've got to live life and look and act a certain way, right? And that's not what I believe. A Christ living life Christ's way is. Where I've gotten to, and I am on the journey of, and continuing down the road of, and excited when I get to give input and help in any given way under the umbrella of this topic, is finding out who you are, which my dad likes to say, your DNA, of course I'm gonna butcher it now. Your authentic self is the DNA of God, essentially is what he says. So like who you truly are is the DNA of God. If we're created in his image and likeness, right? So who I truly am. And then it's like out of that person, that's where I can chase my purpose. That's the only way I can be fulfilled. If I'm me, right? But me with all the world gunk added onto it, then I'm chasing after something that is not the purpose and that God created for me. So it's like the more I've went down that path and that road and like honed in on that, the more fulfilled I keep being, and like the easier it is to stay in a good mood and stuff. Yeah, if that makes sense. So, which hint, I kind of feel like is the direction I want to take this channel. That's where I feel like I'm going with it. It's like, because that's what truly like does fire me up, is like, it pisses me off or makes me sad, like when someone like is depressed, or when someone just genuinely has like just accepted average, you know. And I'm not saying average is like, for example, like if your purpose is to be like a trash truck driver or whatever, bro, I'm not saying that that's average. I'm saying average is you have or had dreams and aspirations, but killed those on the inside of you, and you've accepted that that is life. That like really infuriates me, and I don't like being around people like that. But at the same time, it's like something in me wants to like shake them awake, you know. And that fires me up. So I don't really know how I can like, what does a live stream do with that? Like I don't even know, but like that's something I'm struggling with a lot. I don't know. Maybe we can talk about that. But my girl Reef said, success without the solid foundation and stepping stones of progress will crumble every time. Hollow success will never withstand long term. I'm going to read that again, because that, like, honestly, my ADHD, I didn't really comprehend it. Success without the solid foundation and stepping stones of progress will crumble every time. Yeah, okay, I get what you're saying. So it's like if I won the lottery, like most people lose and go bankrupt. I think it's within like a few years, or like 5 years or something. Crazy. Millions and millions and millions of dollars. Because they haven't been, that's what the suffering's about. Like that's why the suffering, like success is found in the suffering, man. I love Reef too. Reef is fire, and she needs to start making videos. You need to start making videos. or some sort of content, you know, like even if you don't like your face being on the camera, girl, like do faceless content with AI and AI voiceovers, but talking about what you like to talk about. Maybe I just gave you an idea, you know what I'm saying? But like you don't, it's a new world with AI. But I love that. I mean, that is absolutely phenomenal. Phenomenal. Let's get back into it or we'll never finish this video.
But it's bad when it's out of self-righteousness and self-glory. I'm telling you guys, give all the glory to Christ. It's all because of him. What he did on the cross, do not lose sight of the cross. It's so easy to do that. And the second you do that, it's going to be chasing the wind. Just like the other, short-term. That's something that people have to find out, I feel like. Because the world will tell you, go out, live the disciplined life. You'll feel so much better. Go out, get the good physique. And yeah, those things are great. We can honor God in those things, but when you're not honoring God, it's just completely empty, right? So let me say that again. When you live in noise, you don't fall instantly. You drift. You stop reflecting. You stop examining yourself, and you slowly move away from intentional
You drift. Yeah.
Living. I love this verse, Hebrews chapter 2, verse 1. I have to talk a little bit slower. I feel like I talk really fast, but I just try to get a lot of information in a short amount of time, which I guess is good because with all this noise that I'm talking about, people's attention spans are poop, right? Hebrews 2:1. Therefore, we ought to give the more earnest heed to the things which we have heard, so that not at any time we should let them slip. So we must pay closer attention so that we don't slip, so that we don't drift away, because distraction causes spiritual drift. You see, we can only walk in two paths. There's two paths to this life. We're either chasing the flesh or we're living and allowing the Spirit to lead us. But you can't, like I can't walk forwards and backwards at the same time. It's impossible. You're either allowing the Spirit to lead you or you're letting your fleshly desires lead your life and your decisions. And the second you're distracted, the fleshly desires will always seem better. We have to take captive over our thoughts. We have to actually examine. We have to reflect on ourselves. Again, I love journaling. It's one of the best habits I've ever picked up because you can search yourself. You can search your heart. And when you include God into it, people will say, oh, how do you see, or how do you listen to God or feel God? You got to allow communication. There's ways for everyone. It's different for everyone. The biggest thing is you have to seek God in all that you do. And Jesus told us, when we seek God, we will find him. When you look for God in all the things, when you invite him to the journal and you just try to reflect on what he's done in your life, all the blessings that you have, you will find God. I was looking outside this morning and I was just focusing on the environment as I journaled.
I guess I kind of do that, but I don't like write it down. I don't know. I just kind of like, I'm crazy. I kind of just like talk to myself. Yo, W. I love this community too. This is fire, dude. This is it for real. Like, this is what, it brings a tear to my eye, man. It all coming together. Like, this is slowly coming together. The vision that I'm like having more and more of the more I do these live streams. Like, this is it. Like, I'm appreciative of you guys for helping me chisel this down and really hone in on what it is I'm trying to do, which I feel like I've gotten closer and closer. Ooh, good stuff. People allow just a little drift and then find themselves lost at seas. Fire. Oh, see, I about did it again. There we go.
I just wrote it letter by letter, super intentional, which is great. The fact that you're writing it out with pen and paper, everything is digital. I got my computer right here. You can type 100 words in a second if you want to. Letter by letter, slowly, intentional, being still, no music, not even classical, examining the sky. Thank you, like you finding the Lord in all these things, in the clouds, and I know it seems silly, but it's true. God is in everything. God is in absolutely everything you do. Worship goes so much further than just sticking your hands up on a Sunday morning in a church service, listening to some music. Worship is in absolutely everything you do. It's about being a good steward. It's about being a good steward, right? Showing up, honoring God in every
worship. It's like, where is your heart? It's something I thought too. Like, I thought worship was like always praise and worship, but like celebrities. Like celebrities are an idol, and like it's like, well, people don't like, at least most people don't worship in the praise and worship sense celebrities, but like we're putting them up on a pedestal and like putting them up on a shelf in our heart. You get what I'm saying?
Every single thing that you do. And if you can't steward silence, if you can't steward time, if you can't steward attention now, God won't entrust you with greater responsibility, because your attention is arguably the greatest resource of this world. Why do you think so many of these companies fight for your attention? Because they love it. They profit off it. Don't you think God loves it when you're intimate with him? That's the biggest thing, right? You can read all of this. You can know everything about the Bible. The Pharisees did. But there's nothing like having a relationship with Jesus Christ. Being intimate with him. Giving him time. Giving your attention to him. That's
So it's crazy. I was literally talking the other day with my dad, and he was talking about how don't let, well, he was talking about like time in a different sense, but he said a little nugget about how time is the most valuable resource we have. So it makes sense that that's what God would want the most over anything. And because from that is you giving him your heart, you know? Like when you fall in love with somebody, like when you have a partner, like all you want to do, especially in the beginning, is just spend all the time in the world with them. It's about the time, man.
It's the greatest resource. I was actually talking to this guy at the gym. Like, can you imagine this? Like when someone is giving, imagine you're at a conversation with your mom, or you take her out to lunch or something. You bless her. You know, it's still God that does this, but let's say this, put this into perspective, right? I want you to imagine. Let's say you pay for your mom's meal, you pay for a girl's meal, you pay for your date's meal, whatever, right? You take someone out. Sure, look at it as a blessing. You're blessing them in that moment, and they're just distracted. They're just on their phone. They're on Instagram. They're texting other people. They're not really there. Their attention isn't there. That wouldn't make you feel too good.
Hey, Smokey.
That wouldn't make you feel too good. And I think about that with God. God blesses us so much. And sometimes we sit in the middle of our blessing and don't even thank him for it. We don't even say thank you. We overlook these common day-to-day blessings. But how blessed are we? How blessed are we to simply just have thoughts in our brain and to have memory? Like imagine the people with Alzheimer's and these neurological diseases or conditions that can't even remember. They look at, you know, their own daughter and can't even remember who she is, and they're calling, hey, I'm...
Oh. Wow, I never thought about it like that. Like how, damn, that low-key like might now be my biggest fear. Like imagine not being able to like, remember like who your parents are, or like who your children are, or your like the love of your life. That's like scary, but then I never like thought about like you don't remember any of the memories. Like nothing. Damn.
I'm your daughter, I'm so-and-so. Don't you remember me? You're literally my mom, right? Like how blessed are we to have the physical capability to listen? You're listening, I'm talking. How blessed are we to have this form of communication, to have thoughts in our brain, to have breath in our lungs, to be able to wake up every single day. These are things that we overlook. But the more you can find God in them, the better of a steward you'll be. One of the verses we absolutely live by in the Forge, which is the brotherhood I was talking about earlier, is Luke chapter 16, verse 10. This is something that we take so seriously, because if you take it seriously, I wish I could ingrain this into every Christian man's head, to be honest, because when you focus on this verse, it changes the game. It honestly does, right? Luke chapter 16, verse 10, he that is faithful in that which is least is faithful also in much. And he that is unjust in the least is also unjust in much. This is Jesus talking. It's in red letters. Open up your Bible, Luke chapter 16, verse 10. So if God is saying that he that's faithful with least is also faithful with much, if you're exercising, and I don't mean exercising as in workout, I mean like putting it into practice.
Which a lot of a lot of times that I've heard this, it's always in the, the friggin' financially, you know. Like he'll give you, and I've even used it like that, but he's about to say it in like every sense. If you're faithful with the little bit of time, if I'm faithful with a small community and a little audience, if I'm faithful with that, then I'll be faithful with much. If I'm worried about trying to provide, and I haven't been, like, that's something I've been beating myself up on, is like, I want to be better. Like, I want this to improve, and I've been getting distracted by, like, honestly, like, for me, you guys, it's women. I'm just gonna be blatantly honest with you. Like, just a lot of it's lust, like crazy. It was 1:11:11 when I looked down at the time, but and I've been getting distracted by other things as well, just like just life in general and like things that happen in it. But like I want this to improve, and I want to get to a place where I can do this more because I'm getting something from it, and I think you guys are getting something from it, and like I just want this to, like, I'm trying to hone it in, but it's like you can't rush the process either. I don't even really know what I'm talking about now, but yeah, like be faithful with the little, not just with money. Like, that's crazy. I never thought about it like that, but it's like not just with the money, like with the. I guess I never thought about this verse in that context, because that is something that I've been on. Is like, how can I best serve this moment? That's something I was talking to somebody at work, and approaching life, like I started it at work, and I've been more and more trying to, like, how can I best serve this moment? Like, what can I do that will be the most, that what can I do at any given time that is the highest leverage move on the board? Okay? And if you look, that's how, like, super successful people operate. Love him or hate him, Elon Musk. How he solves all his problems is he finds the point of highest leverage, the lever that he can pull that moves the most, and he throws all of his resources, money and time, at that. All of it. And this is what he's saying here. Like, if we're faithful, and if we figure out, hey, how can I best serve this moment right here? How can I steward and be faithful with this little bit? But how can I best serve this little bit enough? And then I can be trusted with more. I can be trusted with more. I can be trusted with more. Which I think is where he's going to go, but I might be speaking too early.
This faithfulness in all that you do, honoring God in every single thing that you do. Exercising can be one of those things, being faithful with your health, right? But I'm talking about actually putting this verse into practice. You're honoring God with it. You're taking it seriously. You're being a good steward with the way that you fold your clothes. You're taking it seriously because you're grateful to have clothes on your back. When you make your bed in the morning, do it properly. When you're doing everything, do it properly. That changes the game. Because he also says, he that is unjust with least is also unjust with much. So if God expects you, if he's looking at your life right now, and he expects you to be unjust with a purpose, that if he looks at you, right, and he's unjust, you're proving it with your actions that you're unjust. You're not taking what you have in your life. You're not taking the opportunities. You're not taking the blessings seriously. And he's telling us
you have everything in your possession and in your life right now to create the life that you want. To create the life of the biggest dreams, the biggest life that you can imagine. You have been blessed with every single resource, every single ability, every single skill and trait and character necessary to achieve that. You have it right now, all at your possession. But you're just not stewarding it properly. You're not stewarding and being faithful with what was given to you. So why should you ever be given something more? It would destroy you. That is what a good father would do. He's not going to give you more if you won't properly handle less. But if you properly handle less, he will give you and trust you with more.
This, if you're unjust with least, you're probably going to be unjust with much too. Why would he give you more? Why would
and hey, it's hard. It's hard. I get it. But it's a pill that we all need to swallow.
Open up more of that purpose? That's what people don't understand. That's what I didn't understand for the longest time. People just want to wait to find their purpose. But we have to walk with purpose. We have to live this life purposefully, with effort, with intention.
And all right. Dude, this is turned into a really long... This has been a W stream. Thank you, sir. The crazy thing is, bro, there's a verse. Dad, you might know the verse. I'm not good with it like that, but it talks about like in all things, like give your most effort. Like when you're at work, give it bring your best to that. With fatherhood, with all these different things. And it's like, seemed to me to be like counterproductive. Like, why am I going to give all my effort to this area when I know in my heart and my soul I'm not going to be here? When I know in my heart and my soul I'm not destined to do this kind of work. But there's a lot of things that we can't see. We don't have the bird's eye, the aerial view of it, man. So maybe a relationship I made over here. Dude, wouldn't it be dope if I had a whiteboard right here? But like the relationship I made over here, right, is not gonna at this job when I was 20. Now it might have we both might have matured and we're at different stages. And now it's going to be a benefit here, you know. But if I didn't give my A effort, if I didn't show up the way I showed up, this path is no longer available. I removed it from myself. Or maybe a skill I learned here, and this is something that when I can look back and I can see where I'm at now and see where I'm trying to go, it's like whatever you do, do your work heartily, as for the Lord rather than for men. Colossians chapter 3 verse 23. I always butcher that Colossians. But do your work heartily as for the Lord rather than for men. You get what I'm saying? It's for the Lord, it's not for men, and it's for all right, let me get back to what I'm saying. It's like when I look back on my past and I see where I'm at now, and I can see where I could be going, you know. And I'm being diligent now in my life to not say this is where I'm going. It's like I can just see the general direction. You know what I'm saying? Like the older I get, the broader my bullseye kind of gets. You feel me? Because it's like it's cool for me to have a plan, but like. It ain't hardly ever gonna go according to God's plan because he just kind of laughs at my plan. But the more I look back at it, it's like all these failures and business ventures that I failed at, and relationships that failed, and job hopping that I went through, and fatherhood at a young age, and financial struggle. It's like all that taught me things and gave me skills and gave me mental fortitude and gave me communication ability and high risk tolerance and all these different things to be able to be who I am now. And that like wouldn't have happened if I didn't go through that. If I didn't, and I'm not saying I always brought my best effort to things, but like I can say like 70-30 in life now with work, with a lot of jobs, it's like we might be at like 50-50, maybe 60-40. Not in my favor on that. And that's something that recently I've been focusing on. And hey, it's been working. I've been progressing. I don't know why, dude. It's been an hour and 20 stream, and this video is 25 minutes long.
And as we walk this life
Wow.
with purpose, as we take this seriously, as you, boom, I'm not saying you have to do this, but just an example of taking your life more seriously, giving yourself intention day to day, meditation, morning routine, right? Giving yourself in a morning routine.
Shut your bitch ass up. I just wanted to say that. I don't know.
Meditation is an intentional thing, and I'm not talking about it in a spiritual way, but just cutting out the distraction, breathing in, breathing out, just focusing on your breath or focusing on a verse throughout the day. God tells us to do that, but obviously there's other weird meditations, so I don't want to confuse you guys with that. But morning routines, right? That's pure intention. You wake up, boom, you're intentional with your day. I know what I'm going to do today. Planning out the day the night before, that's a habit that I've built in my life. That shows intention. When you're waking up, sure.
And I'm going to be super heavy on this because I've been in communities and I've been under mentors and stuff. All this stuff is great that he is talking about. I don't give a fuck, though. Nobody is perfect. Nobody is every single day doing this. Nobody. There might be certain things that they're like, all right, consistently every day I'm doing, but nobody's doing all these. Get up at 5 a.m. and I fucking dip my big toe in hot water and my pinky toe in cold water because it like resets the serotonin in my fucking tip of my pointer finger. Like nobody's doing that shit every day, okay? And it's cool. I've beat myself up for not being that person. It's cool. You ain't got to be, 100% every day. Progression over perfection, all right? Progress over a long enough time frame. And this is where if I had a whiteboard, it'd be like progress over a long enough time. Now we're up here. So it's like progress. I'm starting here. See that? And then I'm going up, down. Oh, man. And now 20 years down the road, our curve's up here. Now we're still going dip. You get what I'm saying? But we made progress. Perfection is I'm either here or I failed, and now I'm down here. Now I'm not perfect, and now I'm going to beat myself up, and now I'm not even going to try. I'm not even on the board anymore. You get what I'm saying? Or it's like I've got to be perfect. I've got to do everything right. I never even take the shot. I never even took the shot. Take the shot, man. Fail. Fuck up. Do the wrong thing. Make mistakes. Scrape your knee. Fall off the bike. Fall off the bike of life. Scrape your knee, man. Scrape your knee. When you fall off the bike of life, you can get back on and say, right on, baby.
Sure, turn off your alarm. Get into the word. That's intention. You're being purposeful. You're living this life with purpose, like it actually matters, like it has meaning to you. You're giving God your attention. You're seeking Him in the things you do. God is going to see that. And as you walk down the path, at least this is how I've found it to be, right? As you walk down your path, God will begin to give you new ideas, to reveal more things to you, to give you, stronger sentiments or stronger feelings about one thing. Things that you more firmly stand against. Things that you more firmly will walk down and attack every single day. As you are purposeful in what you have right now, boom, the walk continues more and more and more. But if you can't even take the situation that God has given you right now seriously, why would He bless you with more? If you can't manage your phone, how are you going to manage your purpose? If you can't manage
If you can't manage your phone, how are you going to manage your purpose?
Constantly being distracted or not, how are you going to be able to handle more? And this is where the discipline comes in.
Remember what I said. You ain't got to be perfect. God isn't calling for perfection. He has never once, ever called for perfection. Never once. Ever. He has never asked you to be perfect. Ever. Get that shit out of your head. He has never called for you to be perfect. He's only asked for you to realize how much he loves you. Be transformed by that. Out comes you.
Right? Actually exercising it in all that you do. 1 Corinthians chapter 9, verse 27, the Apostle Paul says that it's of some profit to discipline, right? But I keep under my body and bring it into subjection, so that by any means when I have preached to others, I myself should be a castaway. But the Apostle Paul says, I
Castaways. We are castaways. What is that? Castaways. We are castaways. What is that from?
discipline my body. I keep it under control. Because you must intentionally cut the noise like I was just talking about. Turn it off. Sit in silence. Reflect. Journal. Think. Pray without music. Walk without stimulation, right? Add these habits. I promise you, if you add these habits every single day,
I'm coming to check on chat. Just give me a second. All right, bet.
Alone time with God, no music. Journaling, like I said. Walking without music, not being distracted. Go for a 10-minute walk after your meals. Get the digestion in and allow your thoughts to think. Don't drown the voice of God. But literally, it's that simple. Just adding these little disciplines in your life every single day. These little habits. And when you're focusing on the good habits, it's really important to mention, you are going to start constructing this new identity. Right? Your habits are what build your identity. If you go back to the Greek word of habits, it's literally almost identity. They're so similar. And if I see my neighbor every single day playing basketball and he has that habit of playing basketball, boom. For me, his identity is a basketball player. I don't know anything else about him. So the same for you. When you look at yourself in the mirror and you have the good habits, you're going to have more meaning to your life, right? But I remember, like I was saying earlier, I couldn't even look myself in the mirror. I was disgusted with the man that I was becoming. Deep down, the world was telling me that it was fun. I had my friends encouraging me, weak men telling me that porn was okay. But I looked in the mirror and I'm like, what am I doing? I didn't know why.
We're kind of getting to a place with this guy's views where it's like, oh, I really don't know. Like, he's kind of condemning other people because, like, they're all, like, you're weak because, like, you're saying it's okay for me. And, like, I was disgusted with the man in the mirror. I don't know if I'm cool with that. Actually, I know I'm not cool with that. I'll just be straight up. I'm not cool with that. I've been there. God was never once disgusted by you. He's seen. He looks at the broken you. He sees the imperfect you, and he calls that perfect. He calls that beautiful. The worst you, the most fucked up you, the you at your lowest. He calls that beautiful and that perfect. And that's who he wants to work with. That's who he's in the dance with. He's not in the dance with the one that does everything right.
I couldn't understand why, but it was just this empty feeling because I was out of alignment with the man God is calling you out to be. But add these daily disciplines in your life. Make this a new lifestyle. And as you focus on this new lifestyle, this light, the affections on the things of above, as a result, the darkness doesn't have a place anymore. You have to it's not by focusing and cutting off the behavior of sin, what you indulge in. It's simply by walking and becoming the new man, the new identity God is calling you out for. And as a result, let's say porn. Dude, I remember when I started to live this disciplined lifestyle, living a life for God and focusing on Him, as a result, the bad habit just left. Because light and darkness can't coexist. So if you're trying to fill your brain and your thoughts with light as much as possible, the darkness won't have room anymore, right? So just do it. It's simple. And you're not always going to feel like it. But
hey, man. I've been in this guy's shoes. And I hope to God he never falls. But in my experience, I will say, I have been on the high of hitting that perfection line on a long time. And then I fell off that and I went into a very deep and dark place because I attached my identity with being perfect. And, being perfect, and I think that's the end of this video for us right now, but being perfect is like not sustainable, bro. And he's like, it's simple, just do it. And it's like, yeah, uh, if man, fuck, I wish I would have thought of that. I wish I would have thought of just do it. You get what I'm saying? And that pisses some people off, and it pisses me off in some areas. And I mean, you talk to an addict, and you're like, it's simple, just don't take the drug. It's like, I wish I would have thought of that. You get what I'm saying? It's not always that simple. Is the truth. It is not always that simple. But if you zoom out and you see the progress, that is what we need to focus on. Look, comment below, leave in the chat one thing that impacted you from this video, and leave a like, please. All right, dude. All right. Like I said, that was the end of that video. I know we didn't watch all of it, but we're just kind of getting to some. I felt some stuff I didn't really agree with coming on with it. So she said, "Good reminder, calls the ugliest parts of me beautiful." Needed that reminder. Yes, ma'am. Look, Reef. I don't know if he was here. But anyways, so we gonna continue building this Lego set. We are here. Boom. Get that clean. Zapow. Or is that the way it was? I don't know. This is where we're at. We're gonna continue building this. And instead of me having a topic that I talk about, I wanted to try this out. So everybody in the chat, if you're going through anything, if you want advice on something, if you're just wanting to vent and talk about something and share that vulnerability with everybody, this is a safe place. Look, I'm just going to tell you right now, this is a safe place here. And I will protect you, okay? I will protect you. Promise you. Nothing's off limits. Anything goes. But it's something I'm gonna start doing. So look, you guys, in the comments below, leave a topic that you would like to talk about or you would like advice on. You would just, if you just want to vent about something and get it off your chest and share that with other people, and maybe I give a third point of view or a second point of view, or maybe I can see a blind spot that you can't see. Let's be a community. You know what I'm saying? Let's get things out into the light, and because things can't grow in the light. Things can't grow in the light. They grow in the darkness. So, with that being said, while you guys are typing yours up, if you have anything, and putting that in the chat and putting that in the comments for the next time, I got this whole idea from, what is this app called? I said at the beginning of the stream. It's Sincerely Off My Chest, which is an app where people share. It's all anonymous, so you don't know who it is. And they share something they want advice on. They share something they're venting on. And people can like comment below it and like give their advice, which I thought was a pretty cool concept. But I want to do that here. Like I want our community to have that, you know. So we're gonna do that. And I didn't really think about this through because I now realize I'm gonna have to have both the Lego thing up and that app up. But hell, we'll figure it out. And I'm figuring this out. I'm testing this out because I think this will be a really cool thing, especially as this community grows, to do this. So let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you guys think about it. I'm going to pull up the Lego app here. So I got the Construcciones to build this here friggin' what's it called? Car. All right, and then okay. All right. So I'm gonna read the first question out loud. Okay. Oh boy, this might be pretty long. We might only be able to do this one and then some from the chat. Because this seems like it's about to be a motherfucking story. Of course, I've got an ad. L ads. L ads. L ads. Okay, yes. Awesome. Let's free the king. Yay. It's amazing. So cool. It's so cool. Yeah, I'm not playing that game. I'm just not doing it. Vent, need advice, positivity. Okay. Today's an. Alright. No. You fucking. Oh, you cocksucker. Here we go. Damn! Look. Alright. Here we go. It says, I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Since Wednesday, I didn't do anything. My mood and energy just weren't there. I just couldn't do anything. No happiness, no energy. I couldn't even cry or get angry. Just nothing. And yesterday, I had to turn that around. I still don't have any emotions, but I wanted to stop being lazy. My story. So this is their story, this person. I'm single now for 2 months, but I had everything that I prayed for. Girl, love, motivation, and more. I had everything I prayed for. I had it, but God split us, and I'm hurting. I'm doing better, but missing my prayer and partner. But I'm missing my prayer and partner. Um, but we are still in contact just because of family. We don't hang out or FaceTime or send each other reels or videos, but we keep in touch. So back to the story. My ex got her Snap banned because sexual content of a minor. Okay. The only thing she posts is memories, and she's 22. But how I found out is that I got home from walking from Lee's to get tea, and I wanted to snap just to show how many teas I have, 4.5 gallons, and make a joke saying, "Is this enough? I love tea." Well, I often snap and realized that her snap isn't there. Not going to lie, my heart dropped like an anvil and my mind was racing. But I didn't want to jump to conclusions, so I texted her, "Did you remove me?" She said, "No, no." So I showed her my problem and she told me that her account got banned. So I jumped to help her. I looked for Snap contacts and looked at rules just to help her. I didn't want her to lose her memories. She has memories from 2016 and thousands of pictures and videos that mean a lot to her. But I didn't get far besides reading the rules. But I told her what to do. Today, so this is today for this person. Now it's the next day, and I'm on Insta watching Reels just to have some enjoyment, and all of a sudden my phone blows up of Snapchat telling me she posted on her story. So I looked, and her account is back with the same stories she had up. I texted her, "Yeah, your account is back." I looked at her story and seen 2 pics of her that is new, so I took a screenshot. A couple minutes later, she texted me to stop screenshotting her stories. I haven't took a screenshot in 2 months, plus I don't see the problem. She said, "I don't have to explain myself to you, and I don't care. Just don't be screenshotting my story." I don't get it. What is the problem of me taking a screenshot? I told her I just like the selfies, that's all. like I always said, the sun makes your skin glow and eyes sparkle. I feel like it was wrong and weird of me to do that, but at the same time, I don't see the problem. And to answer the question, why I still have her, because she's literally family. Her dad comes over to my house just to chill, and I used to do the same for her house. Her dad and my parents are friends. I know most of her dad's side of the family. I still talk to her dad. We talk about everything, movie, TV, who will fight who and when, like Superman versus Homelander, or when I come over, we watch TV. Sometimes we will play old Call of Duty together. Our favorite is Call of Duty 3 Modern Warfare. Her story is she moved to live with her dad to have a fresh start 1 year ago. Then I met her, we got close and started dating. 9 months later, she ended it after we got into a fight because of me, and I hurt her feelings. I said something that was wrong and a misunderstanding. And it's like God literally said, and y'all split and heal, but y'all are going to have each other still. All right, we're almost there, you guys. We're almost there. I just don't understand how can I move on without someone who is family. How I can move on with someone who is family and I wanted to have a family with. I just don't understand. I'm working on myself. I know my mental health isn't the best and I want to fix it and I want to learn to do better and see what God has plans for me. But I feel like I'm doing something wrong. I walk and motivate. I pray and talk to God. I read His words and share, but I feel like I'm doing something wrong on my end. Am I doing something wrong? There's a lot of things I have changed, and I know I'm doing something right because it's uncomfortable and confusing, and I want to continue to. I want to continue. I want to change. Being in a room of constant quiet does change a person, and I've learned I'm talking to someone just to have a conversation with someone, but we don't talk much. She has her own life and plans. God is in control. So if we don't talk, then we don't talk. If God is doing something, then his plan is better than mine. Write me back. Am I doing anything wrong? Okay, then. That was a lot. Yeah. Um. Yeah. So there was a lot there. Where should I fucking begin? Essentially, let's summarize this. He is close with his ex. They had I mean they've got a lot of history together, relationship wise, not romantic. They had a 9 month relationship, which is not very long. And now he's in a position to where, ooh, let's make sure. Now he's in a position to where uh, his families, both their families are friends and intercommingle. And now it's kind of like she's in my life, but she's not in my life because now we're not together. And there's kind of like this awkward thing going on. And I don't know how to handle it. Um, brother, crazy how I kind of relate on some levels here. So, number one, first level I relate to my baby mom and my ex is, now this is gonna make me sound like super country, but so my stepfather, it is his, so his cousin has a daughter, and that is my baby mom. So it's like I guess my step cousin, or in a way. So I'm saying that to say our families, like we're kind of like still around each other because of family sometimes. Not as much as it sounds like here. So, um, and also loneliness changes a person. That's something I heard you say, and you said that you've noticed you've been talking to people just to talk, and it's not really meaning anything. Uh, what that is, brother, is you looking for external validation in other people, which is fucked up. Might I add? We're on bag 2. Hold on. Big moment, you guys. It's been like 4 or 5 weeks. And we got 2 other bags in there. We'll put that off to the side, yeah? and then we'll dump these out. You gotta get the ASMR in. All right. But which is, it's not cool to do people like that. To just have someone around to have them as validation, to have them boost your ego, your confidence because you lost something. That's not cool to do that. Now, sounds like a little bit of fuck shit going on her end on how you guys split. You said something that hurt her feelings or whatever the hell, and you guys split after 9 months. Kind of looked like she was looking for a way out. I don't know. I don't have enough information there to really say that with absolute confidence. All I can say is, seems like a little fishy. But what I can say with absolute confidence is, brother, you cannot be screenshotting her stories and stuff. That is weird. I'll tell you why it's weird. Because there's always going to be some sort of animosity or odds with somebody that you had a relationship with and you no longer have a relationship with. Why? For that fact. Because you had a relationship with them and you no longer have a relationship with them. So there's always going to be that, you're going to be at odds with them a little bit. It's going to be odd. Number two, if anybody screenshots my story or something, I'm going to be like, why'd you do that? It's automatically like, why are you taking it's almost like you take a picture of somebody in public without them being cool with it. Just because I posted a picture doesn't mean I want you to have that picture. It's kind of like a weird thing. It doesn't really make sense, but it makes sense to the younger generation. So I say that. I also say you shouldn't even have the ability to screenshot her because you're obviously super infatuated and hung up on her still, and it's going to continue to happen because you are obsessing over her. As soon as she posted a Snapchat story, you knew because you had the notifications turned on for it, and you immediately went to it, Snapchatted her, and then screenshotted it. That's obsession. And what does that do? That pushes people away. Because it's showing that I lack you, I'm missing you, I wish I had you. And now it kind of removes you from a place of power, because you are needing them, acting like you need her in your life. So what I would do is I would Snapchat, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, freaking Pinterest board, everything. I would not have her followed on anything. And if I had to, I'd block her on everything so I'd add as much friction between me seeing her as possible. That's what I would do. So that way you can start to get over her. So that's number one, what you need to do. And then it's really hard to be depressed and stuff when you move. When you physically move your body. When you get up. And it sucks, dude. I get it. And it's going to feel because you're doing some of the right things. You're getting in the word. It sounds like you're trying. And it's going to feel especially at times, that you're doing the wrong thing. But that's part of it. That's part of recalibrating your nervous system, is you got to get back in the groove of not needing somebody, which you never should, and you should hopefully work on that so that the next relationship isn't like that. But here we go. We're going to be building the wheels now. Clean. So I'd remove her on everything, and then I'd start getting in the gym, moving my body, getting physical. Yeah. Because it does a couple things. It releases 5 or 6 chemicals in your brain that is literally a smoothie of absolute, a drug that you literally cannot buy anywhere. And then when you do that on a long enough time frame, and you have your food and everything dialed in as well, obviously. But if you just show up at the gym for a long enough time frame, your body's going to start changing. You're going to feel more confident because you're doing something that's difficult. You're being disciplined. You're growing. Now you're more confident. You're a little bit more fluid. Now you might be starting to attract other women, or you might be starting to go up and have more confidence in talking to other women. And now look at you. Now you're not even thinking about old girl. But it takes time. These things just, unfortunately or fortunately, they take time. It's painful, and it's painful for a reason. It's good. It's a good pain, and through that suffering, you should take advantage of it. I really hope you don't let it go to waste. Such good fuel, because it is fuel. It's fuel to change your life, to change your habits. It's one of the best fuels in the world is when you get your heart broke like that. So I hope that's what you do, my friend. I guess I did put that in the wrong spot. Put a Lego in the wrong spot here. And it would be so awesome if you guys could, like, I want it to be my camera up in the corner like it is when I'm reacting, but then have big screen like what I'm doing when I'm building. I think that'd be nice. I cannot get this off. Put this Lego in the wrong spot here. What do you guys think about that advice? Would you guys add anything to that advice? I'm asking you. Would you say anything more, anything different than what I said? Cocksucker. Put that in the wrong spot again. Yoo-hoo! Also on top of it, if you guys have a question or something that you'd like to drop, please drop it now. Because if not, I'm going to put these final few pieces in, give you a little bit, and we're going to hop off here. We're gonna call it wraps. So now is your opportunity to drop a question, to vent about something. If you want, if you feel like sharing that vulnerability with us. All right, where are these fucking pieces here? You who's in this one? I don't know. Oh, here it is. Nope. Nothing. Are we all good? I'll give y'all a couple minutes. A couple minutes. That's all you get. We're getting off here. Now's your chance if you want to ask a question. Look, here's where we're at. Clean. Clean. Ooh, I'm hungry. I'm so hungry. I'm going to eat some good food when I get off here. Enjoy my own company. Give my dog some attention. You know you got to do that. And what we think about this type of the segment. Good, not good. What we think, you know? That one. Well, I will say to the people watching the video, hey, comment below if you have any questions that you would like input on, anything that you would like to vent on. Doesn't have to be a question. That you would like someone to just listen to, and that's what we are. We're a community where we're building each other up, but more importantly, we're finding out who we are so we can be our authentic selves and then go after our purpose from a whole place as we were created to be. I appreciate you guys. I love you guys. Thank you for showing up again to the live stream. I will be back Mondays at 7 p.m. is when the lives are. Other than that, starting next week, I'm going to have clips coming out throughout the week. Shorts and also clips and long-form videos. Well, long-form videos and shorts from my live streams. So just trying to repurpose content and get more people in. Let me know what you guys thought of the stream. Thank you guys for showing up. Love y'all. And y'all have a good week. I'll see y'all next one.